The Batter of Life by Pamela Ang, Alexandria, 2015. Narrated by Chloe Schwank. The me of today was created by life's cook, starting with a basic batter of the genes, which gave me my unique physical characteristics and predispositions. And then, from the very moment I took my first breath, other ingredients started being added to that mix, the spices and extras stemming from environmental experiences. Each of these experiences has added its own unique flavor to my batter. Some have been incredibly sweet. Things like the closeness of singing around the piano with my extended family, who had come from all over the state to spend time together at Christmas. Or seeing and holding my children for the first time, feeling their warmth and marveling at their existence, and the triumph of achieving my university degree. Wonderful, warm events shot through with the very best ingredients of love and joy. Some other experiences, of course, have been traumatic and difficult, markedly but only temporarily souring my mix. The sun has always seemed to come out after the storm, and the positives have always outweighed the negatives, so no amount of souring has ever been permanent. As a young child, I learnt that radically different viewpoints of the same thing can still carry truth. When my atheist father fell passionately in love and eloped with my mother, the product of a strict Roman Catholic family, it was very romantic at first. But over the years, heated arguments over religion sprang up, and my brothers and I, little sponges that we were, thoroughly absorbed our parents' viewpoints. We were sure our parents were actually both telling the truth, just different versions of it. It was very obvious to us that there was a God, and equally obvious that there wasn't. Both views held legitimacy. Today, I respect everyone's feelings about their own truths, even if their views don't reflect my own. If someone were to tell me that they had a magic talking rock in their kitchen that guided them in making important decisions, I'd consider the possibilities before I suggested a psychiatrist. In fact, these days I might even ask to meet the rock, to see if it had any useful ideas for me too. Moving through life, I've discovered how cleansing my thoughts of unfounded bias and prejudices can reap great rewards in the form of being in a far more loving, tolerant place, and I've watched others make that discovery too. For years, my father carried the disturbing view that all Asian men were basically vicious World War II would-be invaders of Australia. So his horror and rage when he found I'd become seriously involved with one of those foreign devils was extreme. He cut me off and forbade anybody to even mention my name in his presence, even sending back my baby photos, which he had possession of, being the family album keeper, with a scathing letter warning me never to contact him again. But I knew that he could have ripped them up, so I took the fact he didn't as a good sign for the future, even if it did take 6 whole years till he cracked and we reconciled. I ended up marrying my Asian love, eventually visiting his hometown in Malaysia. There I discovered a shocking truth. My father wasn't the only one with serious prejudices. My in-laws' thin veneer of civility towards me couldn't disguise the fact that they had stereotyped Western women as greedy, soulless, sexually promiscuous tarts. In other words, me. On one memorable occasion, my father-in-law, in my husband's absence of course, encouraged me to have a swim during a stopover in a remote coastal area. "No sharks," he laughed. A little too gleefully, I thought, when I asked about that possibility after eyeing the rather murky-looking water. Feeling confident after his reassurance, I hopped in and had a long, relaxing swim. It was only later that I discovered that there indeed had not been sharks in that area, only crocodiles, lots of them. When I was a struggling student who just started working as a wine waitress in a very shady place, I always avoided a particular group of bikie regulars who would sit around all night drinking Southern Comfort. They'd call out to me, "Spunky," and I'd ignore them because in my ridiculously innocent mind, I thought spunk meant sperm. Disgusting. But when I finished my shift at 2:30 a.m. one morning and my old VW wouldn't start in an isolated back lane, I was terrified to see the black-leathered pack coming my way. This was it, I thought. These ghastly men were going to do all kinds of hideous things to my sobbing, helpless self. What they actually did, though, was ask me what was wrong and then get my car working so I could get home safely. They were so different from the stereotypical image I had of them. They were kind and friendly, and in a completely non-lecherous way. My bias against them was immediately shot down in flames. So much has gone into the making of who I am today, but I'm still not a finished product. I'm in a perpetual state of flux, a work in motion, and far removed from being the solidified senior with a set-in-stone attitude that society might expect. What I think, feel, and how I act will always be affected by what life drops into my batter. But I will always seek out and bask in the light of life, sucking the joy out of every possible moment I can. The end.